What's up everyone? Matthew here. Welcome to MCR Powerhouse. You asked for it, so you get it. Today I'm going to be taking everyone through the standard deadlift technique. Right, so let's begin. Before we grab the barbell, let's start with the stick. Let's go through the powerlifter style deadlift grip, which means you grip one underhand and one overhand. And I personally recommend alternating between sets. The reason why is because what can happen is if you do too much one way and not enough the other way, you may develop a tendency to want to twist towards one side because the underhand tends to have a little bit more control than the overhand. Now, let's get started. So we're standing up nice and tall, feet hip width apart with your toes at 11 and 1 o'clock or 12 and 2, depending on your mobility. From here, I'm going to get you to pout your chest out until you can feel the cords in your lower back tightening up. From that position, I'm going to get you to push your hips back without keeping your knees locked. Push your hips back and keep the stick nice and close to your thighs. From there, I'm going to get you to unlock your knees and then keeping the chest pouted out still on the back straight, bring the bar slowly down halfway down your shins. From that position, you're in the ideal spot to start beginning your deadlift. With the deadlift, you want to drive through the legs and keep that chest straight as the weight comes up. Now, if you find that you're hitting your knees on the way up, the issue behind that is basically you're keeping the knees bent for too long at the beginning of the pull. So in lifting terms, we refer to it as clearing the knees. You have to straighten the knees out a little bit as you're pulling upwards. But it has to be just enough that your legs are still in function. If you straighten your knees too quickly, which is a common mistake that people make, then you'll start to overtake too much with your lower back, and it'll be in a heavy weight, it'll almost be impossible to maintain that, that control or maintain the straight back. Right, so let's move on with the barbell. The next step will be basically grabbing the barbell the same way you would as the starting position that we practiced with the stick. So a couple of common issues that can occur when you start lifting physically heavy weight with the deadlift is, one, the back unlocks a bit too much. There are corrective exercises you can do to help improve that, but to start off with, I recommend just sticking with a lighter weight so you can maintain a nice straight back. You don't want to hyperextend, it's just about straightening the back just enough that it maintains straightness throughout the whole pull. Another thing to take into consideration is the knees might cave in when you're doing a deadlift. So that usually occurs with heavier weights or people who don't have as good a control in their hips and on the inside of their thighs. So if that's the case, I want you to practice pushing those knees out as you're performing this movement. Another common mistake is people try to treat this like they're trying to yank the bar off the ground as hard as they possibly can. Now, some powerlifters have practiced this technique and have applied it so they're able to blast through the sticking points at the beginning of the pull, or usually it's roughly around knee height for most people. Unless you've learnt this technique specifically, just go through the motion by applying force into the ground with your legs, but don't try to yank it nice and hard, because unless your body is able to tolerate that sort of movement, you can actually hurt your back. And so if you're going to do that, at least go to someone who knows the powerlifting technique well, and then they'll be able to keep an eye on you while you're doing that. Another common mistake is some people tend to use their arms a bit too much with the deadlift. Now, this might be more of the weightlifter in me, but I feel that keeping the arms a little more relaxed allows you to use your back and your trunk and your legs a little bit more easily when you're performing the deadlift. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments about the clip, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. Till next time, keep it strong, keep it simple. Catch you later.